All right, smart movers. Imagine being 72 years old, retired, and terrified of losing your home, not because you were reckless, but because you thought you were doing the right thing. Today, we're dissecting a real post from someone in Northern California who bought a home they couldn't afford in retirement, and now they're paying the price, literally. They bought a house based on a temporary income of $10K a month rather than a retirement income of $5K a month plus $2.5K a month in Social Security. $6K a month mortgage in a high tax state like California while relying on fixed income is unsustainable. Their entire savings, $240K, went into a down payment, not diversified, not liquid. Now they're living in fear, considering liens, foreclosures, or being forced to move as seniors. So let's take a look at this post. This is from the personal finance subreddit. We're being nosy today just to get some clues, get some information about what other people are doing, what other people are seeing in other places. And this is important. This one here is important, especially to put in our war chest and our tools and our mindset of what not to do and how we could kind of navigate that and live better and do better, okay? This gentleman said, I bought too expensive a house last year for my income. I'm in Northern California, but was okay paying the mortgage until I got fired this week. My retirement is $5K a month instead of the $10K a month I was making. My mortgage is $6K a month. Long story, bad mistake. Plus $2.5K in Social Security. Monthly expenses are $10K a month, plus things like the roof, HVAC, and more maintenance costs. I got lucky for the first time playing the market, but the taxes are very high. I put all my profits, $240,000, as a down payment for this house so they could sell my house. I have enough money in the bank, around $136,000, but I'd prefer they put a lien on my house so I could use that money to stay in the house a year or two longer. Would they just take it out of my bank account before they put a lien on the house? With that much money, with that much home equity, they'll take it out of my bank account or sell the house. Doesn't matter what my age is. I read it. It's your primary residence. They will work with you, especially if you're older. With much less income, I won't be able to qualify for a house in the town I live in. Will they force a senior couple to move, me and my wife? I think I'm fucked. Okay, we're going to get into some of the comments, but before that, we gotta talk about a couple of things. One is buying too much house is one of the biggest traps. And as you could see, that's not just for young people. At 72 years old, I feel really bad for this couple here, especially, they just purchased the house. They were thinking that they, probably was going to live forever. I mean, at 72 years old and relying on income from the job, you're probably trying to stack more for your retirement. So I get it. But buying too much house is one of the biggest traps. It's for young people and retirees. And doing it in such a high cost, high tax state magnifies that risk. California has among the highest property taxes, state income taxes, and maintenance costs. And you can see the gentleman said, things like the roof, HVAC, and more maintenance costs. He mentioned those things. Even if you own your home, the state and the county own your peace of mind in California. Hidden costs, aging homes, property insurance, utility hikes, infrastructure levies. Retirement should be peaceful, man. Not precarious. And the truth is, where you live determines whether you're living well or just surviving. Should you rent or buy in retirement? That's what we're going to talk about next. And let's go look at some comments here. The first one says, either sell right now or get some roommates. And other people are going to try to dissect this and try to make some sense of it. Like this person here says, I'm super confused as to the original plan. Were you just never planning on retiring? Right? Big Water says you're getting $5K a month, I guess, in pension, plus another $2.5 in Social Security and $136,000 in saving. You have $90,000 a year just in guaranteed retirement income. You're doing way better than most retirees. Heck, you're doing way better than most full-time workers. I don't, for the life of me, know why you went and dropped this big bomb on your retirement planning by purchasing a house with a 6,000 month mortgage in your 70s. But like everyone has been telling you, you need to get rid of that house ASAP. You can't afford it. Even when you're working, you really couldn't afford it. Because if he's bringing in 10K a month and his expenses are 10K a month, he's basically living off of his Social Security at that point, right? Where you go from here, I don't know, man. There are locations all over your state where you could live very well on 90K a year. But again, are they scared of leaving the high interest, high state, high tax state, high cost of living state, California? They're probably not ready. Somebody says it's unfathomable. It's unfathomable to me. There goes a word that I'm going to jump over, mumble over, to me, that a 72-year-old would come onto Reddit for this important of an issue on April 14th. Hire a CPA, tax attorney, and then a realtor today. And that's a great advice because, I'm over here scanning Reddit trying to find people's mistakes so that, I could learn from them and then give them to smart movers so we could both all learn from them and discuss them. But really, this gentleman here, it's bigger than him. He needs to hire a CPA, a tax attorney, and then a realtor and start getting out of that situation. So, somebody says move or rent out rooms or move and rent out the whole place. Like, you can't really afford it. So, Listerine says here, you don't get to pick what the IRS can go after when you owe taxes. If you have $136K in cash in the bank, that's what they're going to take first. Sorry for the tough talk, but there's not much sympathy for a situation where you admit you bought a house you really couldn't afford a year ago. You sell the house, find another one, pay your taxes. If you could find another job, even a menial one, that will be a game changer. Sometimes you got to get tough in the conversation. Here's another one. You're bringing in $7,500 a month, which covers the house. Your gap is $4,000 a month, which, ignoring taxes, would cover you for only a couple of years. And then what? Can you and your wife get another job? Anything would help. If you move pretty much anywhere else, you'll be fine. That's the key right here. If you move, because he could live off of $90K a year in retirement somewhere else in another state, in another city. But guess what? The California dreams. They love it. Sell the house, take the $250,000 in equity and buy a house with it somewhere else. That's your new budget. Then you'll have $7,500 a month to spend on everything else. Look at reverse mortgages if you insist on staying in the house. How much are your taxes? Get on the payment plan for those. So let's take a look at that. But should you rent or buy in retirement? Renting can offer flexibility and fewer surprise costs, no repairs, taxes. So let's say instead of buying the house, this gentleman rented, even in California, on a 90K, or let's say it was way more because he was earning 10K. If he had gotten fired and was renting, he wouldn't be on Reddit. It wouldn't hurt as much, right? No repairs, no taxes, no problems to deal with. Home ownership at retirement age must factor in your income ceiling, health, and emergency reserves. We didn't even get into healthcare. We don't know where this guy's health conditions or anything, what they have to do, but he's 72 years old. That should be a priority at that age. In most low-cost states, renting a modern apartment could be $1,200 to $1,800 a month. That's far below this gentleman's 6K mortgage. But guess what? Gotta live in California. I gotta be there. I love Northern Cali. I work here. I live here. That's the problem. So we gotta look for better alternatives. The smart mover strategy is this. If you're a remote worker, choose a state that rewards you for staying lean. No income tax, low housing costs, low insurance. If you're on retirement income, look at states with homestead exemptions, senior tax credits, or generous property tax caps like Tennessee, Florida, South Dakota, Texas. Run the numbers. Your retirement budget must include taxes, insurance, HOA, repairs, healthcare, and inflation. And we keep forgetting about that part, and inflation. And that's where you could possibly go hedge against inflation by putting your money in other precious metals or assets. That helps you do that. Build flexibility. Don't lock all your wealth into a single property in a volatile region. This man said, I think I'm fucked. But if you're watching this now, you're not, man. This is your chance to move smarter. Whether you're a remote worker, near retirement, or just planning ahead, there are better states, better strategies, and a better future waiting on you, man. Join the Smart Movers Club at Strizzy Report. Just for everyone at StrizzyReport.com and get weekly relocation insights that help you save, invest, and protect your peace of mind. This is what this is about. So, guys, if you're watching this, I appreciate you watching this. This is what I like doing. I like digging and getting some information to help our team. This is our team. This is the club. This is the Smart Movers Club. Head over to StrizzyReport.com right now for more. Peace.